Hello chess fans, this is Chess to Impress with coverage from day 3 of the 2016 Grand Chess Tour in Leuven, close to Brussels in Belgium. We had 2 days of rapid and there are videos that I made on those 2 days, 2 separate videos. And this is the video about the first Blitz day, day 3 of the event, and 9 rounds of Blitz with 5 minutes per player plus a 2-second increment per move. The first Blitz day was won by Aronian, who scored +2, and there were a number of players on +1, and Magnus Carlson was one of them. So he consolidated his lead in the event and takes a 1-point lead over Wesley So into the last day. I have 4 positions for you, 2 from Aronian and 2 from Carlson. Let's get to the action. White Magnus Carlson, black Vishwanathan Anand from the 3rd round of the Blitz section. This is the position after 53 bishop c2 to f5 from Carlson. Anand is winning and he missed a chance here to beat the world champion. He's a full exchange up and those pawns on c5 and d5 look very dangerous. White's only trump card is the pawn on a5, so Anand has to play accurately, but he should be winning this. But of course in Blitz games anything can happen. Anand played c5, c4, the right move, and now Carlson made a mistake. With king a3, which is the best move, he could have set Anand some technical problems to win his position. But Carlson played a5, a6, moving his trump pawn up the board. And now Anand should have played rook a2 check, king b5 to protect that pawn. Giving the pawn away is not an option. And then c4, c3. Now the white king is too far away from the pawn and the bishop will have to be sacrificed for that pawn and black has an easily winning position. But Anand did not play rook a2 check, he played c4, c3, and now Carlson played a7, strong move. Rook a2 has to be played now, and after king b3, rook takes e7, king takes c3. The game was a draw immediately because black cannot make progress here. A missed chance from Anand to beat the world champion. Also from the 3rd round, white Vladimir Kramnik, black Levon Aronian. A crazy game, a crazy position. Just look at rook and bishop on the bottom rank. Black is only 1 move away from checkmating white with the move bishop f1 to h3. And because of that threat, white has to look for a perpetual. Well, the perpetual is not so difficult. Kramnik played queen f8 check. And now Aronian should have seen that he has to allow the perpetual with king e6, queen f5 check, king d6, queen f8 check, and we have a draw. But Aronian tried to win because of his mate threat on the bottom rank. He tried to walk away from the checks, and that was a mistake. King c6 is a blunder because after queen e8 check, king b7, yes, he has managed to run away from the checks, but what he did not see is that after queen takes a4, not just wins the queen, but also very crucially protects the square d1. So bishop h3 is not checkmate because then queen takes d1 and white wins. So Aronian went too far in this game and missed that queen takes a4 covers the d1 square. We show the defeat from Aronian, but because he won this first Blitz game, let's show a win as well. This is from round 9, the last game of the day. White Levon Aronian, black Veselin Topalov, and this is the position after 61 rook f7 to f6. Aronian is a pawn up, but all the pawns are on one side of the board, so not so easy to win. Topalov could have drawn this position. he should have played rook a3 check, and then for example king d4, rook a4 check, and if white wants to win he has to go up the board with his king, king c5, and only now take the pawn on g3. And a logical continuation would be rook takes g6 check and king takes f4. It's better to take the f4 pawn than the h4 pawn. The king is more active and closer to the dangerous pawn on e5. Rook takes e6 is logical, and white is a pawn up and his king is active, but he's not able to keep the pawn on e5. For example, rook a5 check, king d6, he has to protect the pawn, and now king e4, and for example rook e8, but after rook d5 check, the king has to let the pawn go, and on the next move the pawn will be taken. Pawn e5 will be taken by black, and the remaining position is an easy draw. That's what Topalov should have done, but instead of giving the checks first with rook 8, starting with rook a3, he immediately took on g3, king takes g3, and this is not as good, because after rook takes g6 check, he can now not take on f4. That f4 pawn is protected by the king. So he has to take the h4 pawn, and after rook takes e6, the position is a lot less good than in the other variation, because now the two pawns on f4 and e5 are really dangerous, and his king is not in as strong a position as in the previous variation. And Aronian was able to win this game. Also from the last round, white Hikaru Nakamura, black Magnus Carlson, and the position after 58, king e3 to f2. A winning pawn endgame for black for Carlson if he had played here king f4. And why is this winning? Because if king takes g2, king takes g4, then black has the outside passed pawn, which guarantees the win. For example, e5, king f5, and because white has to lose time to collect the h4 pawn, white will be quicker running to the queen side, and the black king will collect the white pawns on the queen side and will easily win. If black does not take on g2, but for example plays e5, then there's a more tricky win. I will show you. King takes g4, e6, that pawn is running, but no panic. King h3, e7, king h2, e8 queen, and there's g1 queen check. And black is a pawn up, and that h4 pawn is very strong and should guarantee the win. Carlson did not play king f4. He played the logical move. Of course he was under time pressure. h4, h3, but that led to a draw after g5. Both white and black have pawns that are so strong that the king has to stay put. The king, neither of the kings can help the pawns promote. So there was a move repetition, king e6, king g1, king e5, king h2, king e6, king g1, king e5, and the game was a draw. A missed chance from Carlson in the last round. This is the standing after day 3. Carlson consolidated his lead, and Wesley So is still 1 point behind, and Levon Aronian, by winning the first Blitz day, has moved to 3rd place. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you will be notified when I post my next video. This is Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.